Welcome to Conversations from the Barn at Everwood Farmstead. These are casual chats with visiting artists. Creaky barn, bugs, and all. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, welcome to Conversations from the Barn. That makes Em laugh. I love it. We are here with Julie and Suzanne, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
All right. Hello, my name is Julie Censullo. I am an audio producer, sound designer, artist, storyteller. I primarily work in the audio arts, and I'm based out of Minneapolis.
Okay, and I'm Suzanne Ohlmann, and I am a writer. I'm also a musician and a registered nurse, and I work in all kinds of manners to pull the narrative out. And because of having a little kiddo, I have been quite remiss in finding creative time for my art, because I've been working on making a little kid safe in the world. So I am getting back to it here at Everwood.
And where did you travel from?
I traveled from the depths of our great nation, from San Antonio, Texas, 2 hours north of the border.
My hometown.
Yes, and just a little jaunt down I-35.
That's right. I feel like I've lived my entire life off 35.
So much verticality.
Right.
And getting out of Texas is a hero's journey.
It is indeed.
You cross the border just after the casino in Oklahoma and feel like, oh my gosh, I'm in Texas. And it's like mile marker 7,420. And you have to get down to mile marker 200. Actually, mine is like mile marker like 180. It's rough. It's a very large state.
It's a very large state.
How did you both hear about Everwood?
I heard a dear friend of mine told me she was applying, reached out to me, sent me an email, and said, I'm applying for this artist retreat. And I believe she asked me to be her reference. And I said, absolutely, I'll be your reference. I might apply for that too. That looks really fun now that I'm looking at the website you sent to me. And she is an incredible artist, and you should bring her here. But she didn't get in this year, and I did, and I had to do some apologizing.
Is anybody else clinching right now?
Yeah. She's a great person, incredible artist. One day we'll make it here, I hope. But I heard about it through another artist who was applying. I don't know how she heard of it, but it had been a goal of mine this year. I've never done something like this. It was a goal of mine to do some sort of residency or retreat.
Well, the fact that they brought you here, they should include on their application next year. Because I think that's a full star right there, regardless of what's in their application.
I'll be her reference again this year.
Amen.
Yeah.
Love it.
And that's the same for me. I have a friend who premiered a musical theater opera here.
Yeah.
And he's one of my closest friends from college, and we're both artists. He's obviously a composer, and he sent me the link to the website and said, why don't you apply here, since you seem to be looking for a place to do something. And he mentioned to me that he liked that Everwood does not ask for you to show your homework at the end. And he said, it just seems like this would be great, and it is such a gorgeous place, and I can picture you in the barn playing the piano.
Even though you would have plenty of homework to show.
Yes.
Both of you were really productive this week.
Yeah, true. And he also applied and did not get in this year. So
It's really rough.
yeah, so he had been here, he had composed here, he recommended I come here. I got in, he did not. Not once was he any kind of angst about that. He was
Yes.
just so thrilled.
Yes, same
Yeah.
with my friend.
Yeah.
And I want her to come here.
The chipmunks have arrived.
It is, there were about 130 applicants this year for about 30 spots.
Wow.
It's tough.
It is tough for that decision-making process, and how that sausage is made is a tricky act that a number of our board members and volunteers are a part of. But
Well, as
again,
artists, we're
another
used to
star
that.
for
Yeah.
that individual as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So-
I will say I applied. This was a goal of mine to do a residency or retreat. This was the only one I was accepted into. So I've also got a lot of rejection emails from residencies this year. So I think, yes, as artists, we understand that feeling.
Don't you think everything happens for a reason, though?
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
you two did not know each other
No.
coming into this.
No.
No.
And it's fair to say that you kind of heart each other. Is that a fair statement?
yeah.
Oh,
That was like a
she's core.
first or second day opinion because we were in the kitchen together and you
Yeah.
both said, I already cannot imagine going to another retreat without you.
I know.
Like we have to be
Yeah.
roommates wherever we go.
Yeah.
Do you think that may happen again?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm planning, I want to go to, you have a friend who's kind of starting a little retreat down in
Yeah,
San
in
Antonio.
San Antonio.
I'm gonna go.
An artist in my neighborhood bought the house next door to hers to create a place when people come who are showing in galleries in San Antonio or visiting artists at the Museum of Art or any kind of arts visitors, and then residency. And she said, I'm only talking word of mouth right now.
Can you imagine Julie on the Riverwalk?
Oh, forget it. Margarita in hand.
She'd fallen at least twice.
At least twice. I told her to come in February or March, and if
Yes.
she comes on St. Patty's Day, the river will be green.
Okay.
And that red
Perfect.
hair and a green
It's
river.
St. Patrick's Day. This sounds like a child in me. It is the child in me.
I love the child in you.
It is my half birthday, and I make a really big deal about that because
About
it's
your half birthday?
because it's St. Patrick's Day. So it's a weird holiday to begin with. It's kind of a like, oh yeah, that's today. And for some reason, maybe my parents would like really tell me it's special, it's your half birthday, and I got really attached to that as a child. So I still
I
have a
think
little
a plan
attachment.
is formulating here.
Yeah,
It's our date-iversary.
Our first date anniversary.
Exactly. So whenever you are celebrating that half
I'll be
birthday,
celebrating you.
just be like, oh, Chris Everett, sweet
Yeah.
Lily. Just,
There have been a suspicious
Little
amount of
toast.
dates
Yes.
lining up because
Yeah, and my birthday's 5 days after that.
whoa.
and Suzanne and I think share a birthday.
And we share a birthday.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
Did you figure?
Just a mere 3 years apart.
You and Em.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have classmates and friends who are the children of my best friends from college.
We both went to St. Olaf. Same birthday. Both were in the choirs.
I mean, the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon are alive and well
Did you
here.
two sing together this week?
We did not. We could do that before you leave.
Please.
What do you have in
Well,
mind?
beautiful savior.
I just said.
Oh
I
my
said
gosh,
please
no.
twice. Okay. Well.
You did say please twice. I'm sorry. I got overwhelmed. It's the sun. I'm in the sun.
I'm curious, being your first artist retreat.
Yeah.
I imagine you had some expectations or hopes. How did the experience match your kind of vision of what it might be?
I mean, it was both. I think I accomplished a lot of what I wanted, and it also felt very different than what I expected in good ways. I think I came to this with a project I was working on, a very clear timeline of what I want to do, and kind of a map in my head of this is my goal for each day of where I want to be. And I did that for the first day, 2.5 days. I was very disciplined and dedicated to that. And I had written, I had told myself a goal of mine for this week is to experience deep focus, because that's something that's very hard to do in regular life when you have all your other professional obligations and personal obligations. It's hard to just carve out several hours of working, and that was something that I did do for a little bit. I think where it then started to diverge a little bit was later in the week, especially witnessing you and your Suzanne and her creative process. I realized I was perhaps being a bit too prescriptive in what I was trying to accomplish, and I let myself do a little more wandering and spend more time in nature and more time writing whatever came of that, and doing a little more work that some of it which will go to other projects, but some of it was just a little more personal. I think one of my favorite things I did was I took my journal and went and sat on that fallen tree in the woods, kind of where where the trail splits in the woods. And I sat there at a time of day when the sun was like beaming on that log, and I wrote, you know, freehand in my journal for an hour. Not an hour. I'm exaggerating. a solid 20 to 30 minutes. And that would, like, to have that experience was something that I was not necessarily planning for, but that I really liked. So I think in my head, I had planned to come here and work and experience that, like, deep focus, that deep producing. And I did a little bit of that, but I think the thing that I wasn't expecting was the ability to wander and let the day dictate what I was going to do.
I love how much you two have talked about and explored creative process.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I also, it's almost impossible as a human to not compare, right? And I always say this to my mother, who is the queen of comparison. Oh, Mom, comparison is the death of joy. And I actually believe that. I get a little flippant when I say it to my mother, but as one would. However, I watched Julie get up earlier than I did, which I envied. And I had actually set the goal for myself to get up when Julie got up, and I gave that up day 2. Yeah. And then the very first day, both of us seemed to just stumble down into that sacred lower spot, which is where the deep focus has begun. And I started by writing letters to my grandparents, who I feel very much alive here, and the past of their lives, because they both grew up on farms. And then those farms were lost. And the house that they lived in where I grew up visiting and spending a lot of really deep, loving time. So I sort of associate it with that childhood safe creative spot. That adult life doesn't want you to, you know, modern culture is like, run, go. And they had knotty pine on their walls, exactly like the walls here. Same stain, same everything. Very mid-century, cabin-y, whatever. They didn't quite have all of the switch plates quoting the Constitution.
Nobody
But,
else does.
you know, who can? Yeah, nobody else does.
Who reveres the Constitution quite like you two?
Yeah, and the founding fathers of this barn. But anyway, the second day, I didn't find it as easily, and I got frustrated. And I knew Julie, like I peeked around and I saw her with her headset on and the mixing software, and I was like, oh, to be so focused and have an actual project. I'm just here trying to figure out if I can access a space again. And so I decided to turn the oven on and start roasting squash. I mean, what else would one do? Bill's looking at me like, okay, where's this going? So then I
love
went.
where this is going.
I went in the garden, turned off the electric fence, and started climbing around. Figgle started yelling at me. And I picked a bunch of pumpkins and picked a bunch of tomatoes and picked some zinnias. And then I saw some wildflowers that looked, and, you know, I came inside and was just like doing all of that to give the judgment part of my brain a break. And then I kind of got in a rhythm where it was like, cultivate, herbalist stuff, and then continue the letter to Grandma and Grandpa, and then back and forth. And that kind of became my rhythm for the whole week of cooking, wandering, creating, figgle, goats, falling down in the mud, writing, and back and forth. And then I started to trust it. And that was the thing that I noticed, like the two of you have curated and tended in such a mindful way this farm and this place, and you've gathered all these people, many of whom I'll never meet, and given me this much larger and creative container where I can kind of find my way to get to that spot. And even when I trip up and come back into my judgment world, there's a quick and easy way out, which is through plants, vegetables, animals, chipmunks, woodpeckers, the wind, the smell of fallen apples, you know, all those things. And everywhere I looked, I could see there was something mindful. I mentioned this to Chris and Patty the other night. Even the sign about flushing the toilet is so
Sensitive system.
It reminded me of me.
Suzanne, the septic system.
Only toilet paper,
That's
please.
what I thought when I
Yeah.
met you. Like, oh,
She's like a
She just reminds me of a septic system.
sensitive plumbing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fair.
real.
God, I'll never look at you the same way.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you for that.
So Suzanne, are you saying did you re-meet the muse?
Oh, yeah. I wrote a quarter of a book. I mean, I have like 15, 16,000 words, and I've got the whole format set up. One of the stories in my last 5 years was discovering that I was never going to be able to conceive and carry a pregnancy. And it was misdiagnosed and underdiagnosed until I was in my mid-40s. And then there were a series of really intense surgeries and diagnoses, and then soon after that, a child was born, not from my loins, okay? And he is my son, and yet he came under not immaculate circumstances, as stories tell. Yeah, not a story. There were no storks, although I did see a blue heron at Johns Creek. Anyway, so I have had a hard time writing about it without feeling like I'm journaling, because I've been too much inside of my own individual experience of it. But writing about my grandparents and to my grandparents about losing their farm and their fertility and their means of production has been a great way to offset some of my own grief and struggle with it, and tell them, and they vibrate with each other. They amplify each other's sorrows, and it's also a story that, in this era of Make America Great Again, I think to myself, well, if you want to erase certain indigenous history and certain African American history, do you also want to erase the lost farms of the white Germans who came? Because that's what happened to my grandparents. So anyway, I think the muse is alive and well, and all I needed was a little knotty pine and a goat
Named Figgle.
named Figgle.
I feel like too this is it's not a place of ghosts, it's a place of ancestors, it's a place of living stories in some ways, like the Book of Days. All the artists are right there, and they're talking to you, and you can talk back to them, and you reference Carol from here, and the Three Sisters are a part of the whole thing, and your grandparents, you invited them in.
Yeah.
One thing that I feel like I took a lot of inspiration from Suzanne. I feel like the inspiration that you were getting from the outside world then was coming in and inspiring me. Like, a lot of my experience was you. And to hear your story about how you've become a mother, I just turned 34 last week.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm very young. I'm as young as M. I don't feel any angst about my age, but I am getting...
If you do, I'm going to tip the table
yes.
over on you.
But I
anyway.
am feeling angst about getting to mid-30s as someone who really has started thinking about wanting to have a child. And I'm single and a working artist, a freelance audio producer with not a lot of safety net or income at the moment. Having a child, being a parent has become very strong to me. That like understanding about myself has been very strong, but I also feel like I'm a million steps away from it right now. And another personal project I've just started is a little audio series that I'm calling Choosing, that is telling stories of how people have become parents through, don't cry.
Okay.
Telling stories of how people have become parents through non-traditional ways, because right now my life is I'm not the weirdest person in the world, but my life feels non-traditional, and I feel like I've taken a path that is hard and unusual. And so I think one of the biggest things that I've taken from this experience is getting to see the way Suzanne has become a mother, and I don't want to say weird, I don't want to say
okay.
judgment, but the unusual circumstances that it has come through, and seeing how you have embraced it and not let the fact that you didn't conceive your son in your body change the way you mother him and change the, and I don't know him, so I don't know what you're like as a mother, but that has been, I think that is like a question that I personally was asking for myself that I did not expect to get answers from here, but that has been a huge part of my experience. I also interviewed Suzanne, so I will make something about this story later on. But we laid on your bed, you like with your propped up and me with my feet up in the air and my microphone, and that was such a fun
It looked like a birthing room.
It did look like, yeah, we kind of birthed a little story together. And I think a lot of what I am taking from here is work that I will create in the future. Even if it's not work that was like produced here, I think I'm taking a lot of things to feed work in the future. The fact that you had that story right when I'm in a moment of saying like, what could motherhood look for me, and to meet you and hear this story and how honest you are about it, and how, like, I know there's some anger in the story and I know there's some hurt in the story, and how you let those be present without diminishing the like miracle of Christ our Lord. We've really been enjoying invoking Christ. The miracle of the child.
My husband had a one-off affair, and he was married to me, and the biological mother was married to her spouse, and she chose to keep the child so that the child she already had would have a sibling. And when it was revealed to us, the story that came along with it was basically, will you help me show up for this child so that the circumstances of his arrival are not shameful for him? And I could not look away from that creative, very selfless story. And I'm adopted, so I was also born, what I like to say, out of order. And so what I'm also realizing is that was a very creative choice on my part to say, let's go. Let's facilitate this. Let's see how we can do it.
Maybe rewrite a story.
Yeah. And so there are words that have to be used because our language doesn't have a lot of words. And that's what creativity is it asks you to act outside of norms. And that's why people seek art, because the normal rigor of the day, whether it's you're a subsistence farmer and you have to roast the lentils and get the rice in sheaves and carry it over your head back to the barn, or you're going and spending half your time in the city doing your work and then your weekend time, it's like that doesn't leave a lot of space for what we crave, which is things that are outside of our language and outside of our needs. So I think I've come to realize too, listening and watching you and Em especially respond to what I've been doing, I haven't left any part of me behind. And I thought I had. I thought I'd, kind of martyred a little bit. And I've let that go. He hasn't asked me to do anything but be myself. He would love it here. The goats, oh God. He'd probably be, I've actually considered sleeping with the goats. I'm just saying, sleeping in their enclosure.
Sure,
Let me
their
clarify
pen.
that.
Yes.
Bill has a very intense look right now.
Have you walked in that enclosure?
Oh yeah, I know there's fecal material.
Oh, wow, okay.
I'm at home.
Yeah, fair.
I'm a nurse.
You are a nurse. That's a
Oh, speaking
Great
of
reminder.
fecal material, do you know that
We had a ghost poop.
our night was, our first night, there was poop of unknown origin on one of the deck steps.
there is a
Do we know what it is?
critter that is.
It was not a raccoon.
There's a critter that has been doing that. It's a step pooper.
Yes.
It's on these steps, the barn steps, and it's on the
Larger than a goose poop.
Oh, we're gonna go there. Yeah, it's a little larger.
Our theory is coyote,
Maybe.
which would be a little
I don't know
alarming.
that a coyote
would be
would
a
walk up
coyote.
to a house.
That's, we also didn't think that.
Do you
it
have
might be a
theories?
woodchuck.
I think it's the woodchuck too.
That is significant production from a woodchuck, if we're being
mean-
honest. We photographed, we Googled,
There was Googling.
and my son wanted, while FaceTiming, to see it. So I showed it to him, and he said, he's 4.
Yep.
Mommy, I know what it is. A gnome. A gnome pooped on the deck.
That is, I have not thought about that one. That
It's time
option.
to widen your embrace, Bill
We're
Underwood.
going to have to get some of those cameras, those security cameras, to see if we can
Catch them in
catch
the
it
act.
in the
Catch
act.
the gnome. Yeah.
I mean, it's fairly remarkable to imagine any creature deciding at that moment while on the steps, let's
Yeah.
go,
But a gnome is not much bigger than a woodchuck.
right?
Yeah.
So you'd have to give the same compliment to the gnome that you would to the woodchuck.
Maybe
We're
they
really
spent-
talking about fecal. All
I'm
right.
sorry.
We're going
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
it's all good. I mean, we never know where this is going to go.
No, we don't.
We are in the middle of a farm. It all
This
started
is
with
nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, I mean, woodchucks eat plants, so it would feed, it would fertilize.
Chris Everett, I'm going to tell you that as you are stuck in the midst of your January work of pairing artists together, Chris Everett locks himself in a room for about 8 hours on a weekend and does the intense algorithm of who is accepted, when they can do it,
Yes.
and then the pairings. And
You
it is a
did
very
this.
difficult process for him. And he kind of pulls his hair out a little bit, and I just bring him coffee, sing him light songs, and I want you to remember this pair,
Yes.
Chris Everett, and the
This was
magic
a-
that you do in that 8-hour closed room session.
And it's intuitive.
Yeah. I
But
thought
then it has to be pragmatic too, right? With the,
Absolutely.
with the timing.
And an invitation to the universe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've thought a lot about, again, because so much of this experience has been through the connection we made for me. What magic you create in these pairings and in these little moments of ways you're bringing people together that I think I'd venture to say is going to echo through both of our lives and both like back into our other relationships. Like what a ripple that is.
And into our lives,
yeah,
too.
Yeah. From that 8 hours.
Yeah.
Do you know, can I ask you some questions
Yes.
about that? I have 2 questions. One is, do you have any memory of what are the things you look for when you're pairing artists besides timing?
Yeah, there is a lot of pragmatic stuff. We talk about it a lot in the application. This is an intimate thing to put 2 strangers
Yes.
to not only make art together in a house,
Yeah.
but live in a house and
Yes.
be, down a hallway from each other.
Yes.
We try to ask the right questions about introvert, extrovert, safety needs, any concerns, requests. Hello, Chippy. And that helps kind of build an emotional groundwork too.
Yeah.
And so I start with the pragmatic, complementary art forms. We don't want 2 musicians at the same time because both are going to want to use the barn. We'll have a musician and a writer, or a painter if we know they want to paint the barn, and maybe another writer or someone who's going to do plein air, so that we're not getting in each other's way. The timing makes a huge difference. All that kind of stuff. And then I will go into, from the application, looking at social media and just kind of make best guess.
Yeah. A good guess.
One of the best ever.
Really? We both have a little bit of we both love to be the best. We love to be the favorite. We both discuss this. We are people who kind of like to be, we kind of like to feel like we did a
stand
good
out.
job.
well, we want to be kept.
Yes, we want people to like us.
You're now part of the family, so that is done.
So,
The other big piece, and I'm curious if the 2 of you
Yeah.
did this, I can do all that work, but then in the invitation,
yeah.
that's an important part too, to say you have been accepted. We are pairing you with this person
Yeah.
based on your requests.
Yes.
You let us know if you feel good about it. So you do your own research, you do your own research. And if you both say yes, we connect you, and then it's up for you to take it.
We FaceTimed before.
Yeah, we
I
didn't-
looked at your website and it was funny. I think that was a thing I really remember. Your website is very funny, and I did feel good energy from you. And I remember I requested a date change after I got my dates because
that's right,
I
yeah.
was out of in the interim between applying and getting accepted. I'd planned another trip, and so it would have meant that I would have come back from my other trip and immediately come here, which could have been fun, but I might have been exhausted. And so I asked for different dates, and I remember thinking like, oh, and it's too bad I won't get Suzanne because I liked her website. She's funny. I think I would like her. But then you switched our dates and kept us together, and that felt really, I did feel a little bit like, oh, okay, there must be a reason that it's not just like randomly swapping me.
Yeah.
Because I thought by requesting new dates, I was giving up you.
You didn't give me
And
that.
I'm glad that we got kept together.
Yeah.
So you must have gotten an email saying Julie's being a real.
No, there was no
Yeah.
judgment.
Okay.
It was just a mere scheduling
Yes.
swap, and I said, namaste,
Yeah.
let's freaking go.
Yeah. And I
Let us-
also think we got good weather. I don't
We
think
got
we would have had
great
good weather that week we
the
had.
fall food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she and I also, we made each other really loving. Again, I wish there were a name. I often talk about, and it's for the divine feminine, which I think lives in all of us, but like the imagery that often comes up, at least from sort of like Northern European folk tales, is like the dark forest. And if you get witchy, it's like cauldrons and things like that. But I feel like on Tuesday, I made a stew from that place. Using ingredients from here, and she had brought some orange wine, and I put that in there, and it was sort of a Italian ribollita Everwood version, and instead of the, what's that called again? Millepois.
Oh, mirepoix.
Mirepoix. Instead of the mirepoix, I used butternut squash and onion from the garden, and Bill says, anyway, and 2 days later, Julie made her divine feminine turmeric pasta, which, let me tell you,
Yeah. It's a New York
it's a
Times
paradigm
recipe.
shift.
Did anybody else get to try it?
I did not.
No.
No, we
It was
ate
just
all
for
of it,
Suzanne.
of everything. And then last night we made delicious nachos, and we made a roasted tomatillo salsa from
Oh
the garden.
yeah. Really
Come
good.
on. Come on.
Are there
Yeah.
tomatillas in the garden now?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Great.
Roast
We're going to
them.
be doing some harvesting today.
Yes.
I've taken all of the squash. I'm kidding. I took 2. And about 7 pumpkins. Okay, 3.
You've got to get on an airplane.
Yeah.
I know.
I know. 'Cause I think they're coming to my house. Those pumpkins.
Yeah. But that was another thing that I felt was an expression, a creative expression of affection, creativity, deep soulful connection, and a deep soulful connection to here, and also the space you've created and offered us.
And conjuring.
Yeah, conjuring, witchy, pagan.
Em,
Yeah. What do you have to say, Em?
close us, please.
And so that is the timing for it. The closing question is always, how have you experienced beauty today? And it is quite early in the morning to be experiencing beauty, so that will hopefully be a fun question. But also, I usually like to ask a supplementary question in tandem with it. I think you two have talked a lot about timing and crossing paths, and have already spoken very eloquently about how, how right this timing and this pairing between the two of you has felt. And you've talked about like sharing a table and about sharing the creative process, but in the idea of like sharing a house and like living together, was there a moment that felt special and right and something that you want to take away? Because also both of you have talked a lot about like your home lives and kind of like what you, like kind of how you're experiencing that.
I have 2 images to answer that. The first is the way we fell into rhythm in the kitchen, even just the way the night before we would grind the coffee beans, and in the morning she would make the coffee, and then I would grind the beans, she'd press the thing to start the coffee.
Big job.
And same with
it.
grinding the beans. I
Yes.
mean, pushing a button.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
Yeah. And it fell into place the first night, the first morning. It was just, And then also, I think it was reflected in that conjuring cooking for each other the way we did. And we both took pleasure, I know, in just saying, because we're both helpers. What do you need? Can I get a pan for you? Do you want me to rinse this? And I remember when she was cooking, I thought, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Go relax. You feel tired. Listen to the sounds of her creating in there, and the chopping and the sauteing and everything. The other image I want to give you is Thursday night, or was it Friday, when we were reading Martha Stewart Living
Oh,
Praise be.
on the couch.
yes. We were both at a 2016.
Mine was all about muffins. Hers was Christmas. She said,
Yes.
I have so many plans for Christmas. And then we were each quoting different Martha dates on the Martha calendar.
Martha's Month.
Did you stash a couple of those away?
Oh, there are a lot.
There are quite a few in there.
Yeah, and we both said we should have started this tradition earlier.
Yeah.
Because we were facing each other on the couch the way you do with siblings. And then I had mine and she had hers, and we were both completely into it, and then periodically would share.
Yeah.
Right down to recipes.
Yeah.
Savory muffins with hard-boiled eggs
Martha was
inside.
here too.
Yeah.
Martha and
Such
Christ.
That's the
fantastic.
Christ you're invoking.
Yeah, exactly.
Martha
She is the
Stewart.
Christ figure.
Speaking of Jesus.
Yes.
Speaking of our Lord
That's
and
right.
prison time. What
Persecuted.
The first question, absolutely. He might have done some insider trading with those Pharisees.
Who knows?
That's why he threw over the money tables. I didn't get my share.
We're editing that part.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. But the beauty. What have you done of beauty today?
beauty
Or how have you
today?
interacted with beauty today?
I mean, a lot of my work is in audio and conversation and listening, so I do feel that this here of us all sitting around this Blue Yeti microphone with a little hat on it that I provided, a little windscreen that looks a bit like Bill, feels very beautiful to me.
For the listeners, Bill has an incredible head of hair.
And if you've ever seen a microphone windscreen, it kind of looks like that.
It evokes that, although it's
Yes.
much more elevated style
Yes.
on Bill.
Yes.
We are not editing that out.
We are not.
Don't edit that. I think this conversation has felt like beauty today for me. And briefly convening with the chickens in the morning, watching Bill open the door for the chickens and say like, "Good morning, ladies." And you said, "What do you know?"
What do you
Which
know?
I really liked, of asking the chickens, "What do you know?" And thinking about like, what do they know that we don't know? Or that we might know. And they know things we will never know.
You every time you see chickens
Yes,
from now on.
they know something.
I
They
think,
know something.
I think what I'm feeling about beauty is actually, I have had the sense that I kind of missed Bill this week.
Yeah, we didn't get much Bill.
And when I feel that kind of longing, that little hook, I've been trying to pay attention to all the different ways that I feel things in my body, and how the instinct is to get rid of or mediate or make a plan to make that feeling better. And here I've been really paying attention to appreciating or just sort of bowing to that feeling and saying, oh, well, that's affection. How lucky you get to feel affection for someone you've spent 1 hour and 32 minutes with.
And that's actually pushing it a bit.
I know.
You probably got about 18 minutes with me
On Monday.
on Monday.
Yeah. And also that the beautiful tension that is fostered when there is love between people and creativity, and reaping the benefits of that here, that what you two have established and are cultivating as a couple and as creators in the world. So I was thinking that in the chicken yard, I was listening to things you were saying, and I was like, I miss Bill. And that's beautiful. I mean, that's a form of beauty, is that tension and that connection. We need that.
Yeah,
So I hope this is a commencement.
I think so too.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I titled what I've been writing as a letter at Everwood Farm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You are part of the family now. Like it or not.
Great. Happy to be
You
here.
get to be a part of the whole while crazy, poop-ridden,
Will
Yes.
they be getting a Christmas card?
maybe.
Holiday.
Holiday
Holiday
card.
card. Yeah.
I'll
Do you
open it
have
while I
reunion?
make-
Have you ever had a reunion? Like,
We've talked about
We've
it.
talked about it.
Please
I mean, in
do
addition
it.
to all the other things, I just was sort of thinking, like, I wonder if the concert series ends up being a reunion, or if the one night that's the big fundraiser is,
We do have quite a few retreat artists that come,
Yeah.
then, come back then for the shows to stay connected.
Yeah.
What would you think about it? We've thought about taking like a whole Saturday, and it's a art. If you've been to the artist retreat, come.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a potluck or something. But
Yeah.
you all meet each other virtually in the book. Maybe listen to podcasts,
Yeah.
but we've never gotten everybody in the room together.
I've enjoyed doing my journaling in the morning, and then I'll read a few of the letters from other artists, and it's been interesting to hear the different ways that people will say, I just like put my head down and worked this week, or one person wrote a really beautiful letter about the goats, which might be what you
Wait a
ended up
minute.
writing. It was Suzanne.
She's mine.
I felt very connected to them through reading those letters. And it's been fun. There have been a few names because I live in Minneapolis, and so there are a few names that I recognize. No like close friends, but a couple people where I'm like, oh, we've intersected, and it's given me just a little bit more connection to those people.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Even looking through the checked out books, those little index cards that are in the.
Yeah.
You haven't missed a thing, have you? No.
I haven't taken any of them. But yeah, no, that's how I do. And some of it I think comes from being adopted. And so I think I've learned about my pre-verbal self, learn the lay of the land in case they leave. Learn the lay of the land in case they leave. And so now it makes it fun when I'm like, there's no threat here. You can learn the lay of the land and see where things are
Yeah.
and how they work.
Well, we look forward to next time.
Yes.
Stay in touch,
you.
please, would you?
Oh,
Yes.
that's a promise. See you
Okay,
at Blue
good.
Rock.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it.
Thanks for listening to Conversations from the Barn at Everwood Farmstead. Our theme music is provided by John Mark Nelson. Wishing you all good health.